How do you look at the part of saying, okay, this is the business that I have inherited and this is where I want to take it? How does that happen? The business, it was not a formal inheritance, I would say. It was like taking the responsibility, authority. I would say it happened very seamlessly, I would say. The transition was seamless, but the challenges was really tough. When I started making that ledger book, we just had two retail shops, wholesale and Sona.
Okay.
It was just 4 ledgers.
Okay.
If I just look now, we have like 30 plus entities now.
Correct.
So if you were just in that point,
Today we have a very interesting journey beginning, and so we thought always about it, that how do we create something that a lot of our younger audience can relate to, and we believe that the family businesses and the younger CEOs and the professional CEOs, they have a huge amount of learning that they can share with us. And that's what we have been working on a lot, to see what we can do to build upon it. So today we are starting this today with our guest, Mohamed Mubeer, who is the CEO of SONAS Group of companies, CKM, and has launched MIF Capital last year. A very interesting person that I've been fortunate enough to work together for the last 2 years. And he brings huge amount of experience with him, knowledge of being somebody who's transformed the business from a traditional family to professionalizing it. And I'm sure we will all love the pearls of wisdom that he'll share with us. Welcome on board, Mr. Mubeer.
thank you, Shehzad bhai.
So I think in a way it's, so mashallah, you are the CEO of SONAS Group of company, you are the CEO of CKM, and now with this new whole MIF Capital, for which congratulations, Allah may make it successful for you. And that's very interesting, your entire thing. So, so we have been, as Liverbridge, we have been working a lot in this market for the last 6 years now. And one of the things that we have noticed a lot working with the companies is the interesting opportunity that we have in the food and FMCG space with the family businesses. And we have seen that these are the big contribution to the entire industry over here. A lot of them are well known within the industry circles, but maybe beyond that, people don't know about that businesses. So our intention is to bring those people to talk about it. And with that intention, there's another angle to it, which is the family businesses passing on to the next generation. So somewhere around 70s and 80s, a lot of businesses started. The younger generation is now coming in and they're taking over. And that's a bigger piece of work, that how does a young CEO come into the picture, being a family member, and take over the reins of the business and starts driving it and building it from there. That's another very important thing, and a lot of people struggle with that. There's the challenge out there. So how do we go about fixing that level? So these are the areas that I thought maybe the best way to do it is to bring people who are actually there, who have done it, gone through the phases. And that's why I thought about you, that you have been the CEO for the company for the last 10 years plus, and you have actually built businesses from scratch. You have also managed a very well-established traditional business, started modernizing it. So that's why I thought the best thing is to bring you on board and get you to talk about it and get the message out to the larger audience. That's the whole idea.
Thank you, Shehzad bhai. And I'm fortunate you happened to choose me for today's session. And when it comes to family business, I go very passionate. Mm-hmm. And this is something which I try to, even from the crowd, when I meet people who are in family business, I happen to take time to spend with them. Because, when we sit, we happen to get so many lessons, we get to relate things. And I think how we started with Liverbridge also, because I was being introduced by my friend. Mm-hmm. So when we came, for me, this learning curve, I keep it open throughout. So I thought, I was not judgmental, okay, what I'm going to get. But I'm sure, I'll be getting something, because this is something which I've been doing after, for last 5-6 years of what I've been doing.
Okay.
So I keep the learning curve open. So when I started getting so many insights. And first it was a lot on the organization structure, which we started. Mm-hmm. And later, we both sat and I think we started to discuss more how to create the better CEO.
Yes, the making of a CEO.
Making of the CEO. So as we started, I think we started discussion. How do we operate it more effectively? Like to have the better efficiency there. So that's where we named something called MIF Capital.
Wow. Okay.
So even then, MIF Capital was not okay. I didn't have full idea what I'm going to do there, but I didn't wait for the perfect start. But I started.
Yes.
But now it's getting clear. Okay, now it acts as the operating company for the end of the whole group, which I manage.
Okay.
That's it. And I think, it's what we feel as in even internally as a team. Like we feel like the start has been good, and we are looking to build the team there.
Wow, that's interesting. I think Mubeer, what we need to do, maybe think about like this. Like, let's go back to our origin story. Okay. So SONAS is a very diversified business, correct? You have got a big wholesale part of the business, the cash and carry, and then you also have roasteries. You're also into nuts trading and distribution business, and you also happen to run one of the very interesting Indian snacking business that you have over here. Very diversified group, which is there, SONAS and CKM combined. So that's a big thing that we have out there. Now, what I would ask you a question is that how did all of this start? Like, what's the beginning story?
I think everything started with SONAS.
Okay.
Where I think my dad started the snacking business.
Okay.
So, then it was not to have a brand, nothing. It was like we wanted a trade name in UAE, which is very mandatory.
Okay.
So it was named as Sona Roastery, which every time now I say that is the head office.
Okay.
So, everything started with the purpose of building Sona Roastery.
Okay.
And eventually, over a period, what happened is everything started being stable of its own.
Okay.
So initially, everything started for Sona Roastery. Now everything is independent of its own.
Okay. Wow. So when you said that SONAS started off as a snacking business initially, I mean, snacking is a huge category. What is snacking?
So I think that the first product he was where he started was in the Murukku or Murukku or the chakli, you say.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is like the rice Murukku was there where he started from very small place.
Okay.
So you can just imagine, even I cannot imagine at this point because it was like possibly like a hut.
Oh.
So it was like less than 100 square feet. So what he used to do.
Wow.
So I think he used to do work for 2 to 3 days, and 4th day he used to transport it with taxis.
Okay.
To I think possibly the bigger business what was happening was in the cinemas and all those times.
Wow.
So from Ajman, which was Fridge Baluch, which is now Rashidia.
Okay.
From there to Dubai cinemas and all.
Wow. Which year are we talking about?
I think before I was born then. So I think 1989, all this time.
Oh, the really early days of... Okay. Wow. So, and you're saying that he was actually making the Murukku himself, and then he was going and selling the product himself in a very small hut.
Yes.
Was he like this was a family tradition? You guys knew as a family how to make Murukku?
I think grandfather was also in a similar business, but later dad started off his own after grandfather's demise and all.
Okay.
Then he started something of his own then.
Wow.
So everything was from the scratch then.
Wow. Okay, that's amazing. Okay. And so he learned basically how to make Murukku and started selling it, learned the ropes. No formal training, no business background?
No.
Okay, wow.
But he was doing, out of necessity, he was doing, it was not termed as business, something as trade, I would say.
Okay.
Even like after his 4th grade, he was just involved in selling everything what was available in that locality at that point of time.
Okay, wow. So, and today, how's the business doing today, like the snacking business?
Snacking business, it's being very good. And, I entered in Sona Roastery. But the snacking business was going there, but I was not very involved in the snacking business. Rather, I was very focused on the commodity. Okay. In the initial day, I was very focused on the commodity, because the other was, a brand was built, the movement was happening.
Okay.
But, when you enter the business, first thing is how do you see the numbers, right? So I also went back of the numbers. So I started building the roastery business initially.
Okay.
But I think it was during COVID then, where you go to the old-fashioned days, right? So, we got to resort, okay, that's where you started. That is the real value or the gold mine which you say every time. Because you sit on a gold mine without understanding, right? So during the COVID, I started realizing what was the value it was created earlier. So I started learning more about the brand, the positioning, or how do I to scale it?
Okay.
Because on the commodity side, again, it's scalable, but you don't have a differentiation after a point. So that's where I started learning more about the brand then. So I think after COVID, we started investing more on the branding, learning more about the brand.
Okay.
So even my learning on the brand side started then, I would say.
Okay.
From 2013, I'm actively in the business, but all this while I was taking different roles.
Okay.
So from 2013, I started in the retail to more where we have a retail shops also,
Okay.
where we are selling nuts, chocolates, and all.
This is the roastery business. The
Roastery
SONAS,
business.
Roastery business.
SONAS
Okay.
Roastery.
Okay.
So it was during my college days, during my
Okay.
master's days. But it was not like very formal engagement or a JD wise. You didn't have it.
Okay.
But I felt okay. I have to learn it. So I started there in 2013.
Okay.
From 2013 until 2020, I was completely in the nuts, dry fruit business.
Okay.
Like building CKM in 2017. So everything, that hustle was happening until 2020,
Okay.
where the world got a break. I started thinking then.
Okay. So this is very interesting. I mean, in the last couple of minutes, you spoke about the snacking business, you spoke about the retail business, and then you spoke about the commodity trading business. And I do understand that you have a big wholesale business also,
Yes.
correct? And which is a very well-known brand over there. The question is, Mubeer, so today, SONAS snacking business, I'm just going back to the SONAS snacking business. So your father started off having this in Ajman. So are you
Yes.
guys still manufacturing only in Ajman, or has it gone beyond that?
No, manufacturing happens predominantly in Ajman, and we have got factories in India.
Oh, so now you're diversified.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've got factories in India and Ajman now.
Okay. Is it a very local UAE brand, or is it also being exported?
Okay, it started as a UAE brand. Now we're expanding to, we're available in Oman, Saudi.
Okay.
And I think it was last year we started attending exhibitions. Last
Okay.
year we were at Saudi food, Gulf food, and we are exhibiting next year in Africa.
Okay.
So this is what we feel as an achievement, like on the process what we're doing.
So in the sense of Mubeer today, the building SONAS as a brand now on the snacking side. If I look at this whole thing, your journey, you said you learned how to do the marketing, how to build a brand. You learned about the category of commodity, how it works. And from day one, when we spoke about your father and how he started his journey, he was also learning.
Yes.
So the first learning started being the murukku, that how to make that product, and then making it and selling it, and then you coming into the picture, and then you learning it. So is learning one of the DNA or the value system of your group?
I think Dad, along with learning, he was executing. He
Okay.
was not planning a lot. He
Okay.
was just doing it.
Okay.
And what I remembered was, I think more than branding, I think it was certain things on consistency. Either it was consistency in the quality
Okay.
or consistency in the supplies.
Wow.
Because
Okay.
early days we started, nobody was aware about the brand.
Okay.
We just wanted to make a good product and we wanted to make it sustainable throughout the market.
Okay.
So that's how it started.
Okay.
So even when I say like I got some insight on branding in 2020, but from 92 to 2020, all these years it happened as it was available consistently and it was being accepted.
Okay.
What I did happen to try to make a change was to scale. Because to scale we wanted to funnel, or how do we get to the larger audience.
Okay. So your father put the base, building, having a consistent product, a good quality product in the market. How do you look at the part of saying, okay, this is the business that I have inherited, and this is where I want to take it? How does that happen?
So the business, inherited. It was not a formal inheritance, I would say. It was like taking the responsibility, authority, and it happened very seamlessly, I would say. The transition was seamless, but the challenges was really tough. Again, the business I got, I still remember Dad giving me, okay, Mubeer, this is where possibly, he doesn't give, okay, in a boardroom, he doesn't say, okay, this is what we have to do. But even from the earlier days, what I see, like what is his passion, or when we travel, when he says about some certain things, this is or possibly all the lessons what I've taken from him. It was not a formal transition or inheritance that have happened. But as he's given me the full full authority, or he was like, as was saying, you will be questioned, not at times for the bigger things, possibly for the small things.
Yeah.
So every time you do, you have that accountability. You are given the responsibility of doing it. So I've taken it as a complete ownership, and looking forward, we see a big future for the snacking business. And what we say every time is just make the product what we can take home. So it's like that's where we try to keep. And whenever we say to the team to when we are developing a product, I say let's make the ingredients very minimal, which is like readable for any common man. Like at times when you look at certain food products, you get to see so many technical products or a combination of so many products. So when it comes to Murukku, we just have 4 to 5 ingredients.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Only 4 to 5 ingredients?
Yes. So what happens is, just to give you an insight, so all these products, when I started learning about the origin of this product, right? This was early days, used to be how the grandparents used to show love to their grandchildren.
Okay.
So when you go homes,
Okay.
I've not experienced it a lot, but I've experienced a bit from my grandmoms and all.
Okay.
So they used to make Murukku home when grandchildren come.
Okay.
Now this has commercially moved to biscuits and all.
Yes.
So this was like, when I take Murukku, it has rice flour, it has got turmeric, it's got black cumin, spices. This is just what it has.
Okay.
So it goes very basic, and everybody gets to know it.
Just circling back over here, Mubeer. Okay, just looking at this whole thing. I think you spoke about, first of all, learning the tricks of the business or the method of doing the business by doing it. Now, that's a very important point that you brought up right now, which is more like, okay, this was not a classroom learning. It was more about you actually doing the stuff yourself and then learning it as you go along. And that's something that your father was also practicing it, and that's how you learned it. And then one of the things that you spoke about a lot is saying, how can we deliver consistently good product to the market and making sure that it's a great product that everybody loves to eat, and it's a family product. Then you spoke about the minimal amount of ingredients which goes into it. So great product with minimum ingredients, consistently produced with quality and delivered to the market. And till that moment, no branding actually is happening, but just by pure quality, maintaining it, consistency is when the consumers started asking for it.
Yes.
And then you move in 2013 as a CEO of the company. And then after 5 or 6 years or 7 years into the system, you realize that there's potential to scale it up. And you realize that I need to brand it and do it, give it a new look and new feel and take it to the next level, scale it up. The question to you, Mubeer, is that when you came in 2013, and I'm assuming there was no formal training given to you, correct? So how did you learn the business?
I would say learning was, as there was not a formal transition or a formal boardroom, okay, Mubeer, from tomorrow you're doing it. So it was like you start, like for me, the day one was I was going to office, what do I do? So first what I was given was a ledger book.
Okay.
So, all the traditional business, we've seen a blue book, right?
Okay.
So we started writing the ledgers. So I think it was a time we step into retail.
Okay.
So every day, uncle used to write it. So he said, okay, Mubeer, let's start writing it.
The ledger.
Ledger.
Okay. Okay.
So I started writing the ledger.
Okay.
So that's why I think my first assignment was in the business, I would say.
Wow. 2013 and you're writing ledger with hand?
Yes.
Like, are you serious? Like we had this.
You know what, we had a system, we had an ERP in place. We were having that also. But certain times the traditional business days resort, okay, what would happen if the data is lost? Okay, what would happen if the system is crashed?
Okay.
So what that I did initially was, I said, I asked my uncle, can we just move it to Excel?
Okay.
So he said, Mubeer, system would get crashed.
Okay.
So I made sheet for every month. I said, after you complete every month, take a printout and keep it in a file.
Okay.
So I wanted to make him also comfortable that way.
Wow. Okay, that's smart.
So I think when I started making that ledger book, we just had two retail shops, and the wholesale and SONA.
Okay.
It was just 4 ledgers.
Okay.
And if I just look now, we have like 30 plus entities now.
Correct.
So if you were just in that point,
Yeah,
the number of ledger books we would be having now.
Okay, so if you were maintaining the ledger books and you were feeding the data into an Excel sheet, what was the purpose of the ERP? What was the ERP doing?
So, ERP was doing its own job in its own way. But,
Okay.
the trust of having that books was so solid for, because, they have started that way.
Okay.
So it was right. And they were having that dependency, or, they were not very system enriched.
Okay.
Or even as we started, when I came, we first moved from Tally to the ERP, structuring the branch accounting.
Okay.
So initially, myself and the IT team, we made a plan, and I showed it to my uncle.
Okay.
And after like 3-4 years, whenever I had doubts, I had to go back to him.
Okay.
Because he was daily doing it.
Correct.
And finally, he was also very comfortable. So
Oh.
what I feel is like on the transition, because the older generation, they have certain how they were doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So to make them comfortable on the change, and finally they accepted it. Because what
Oh.
I feel is, more than us, they accept it once the result is showcased.
Mm-hmm.
Once you show them, okay, this is happening, they embrace it more than us. That's what I felt.
Oh, no, that's a very interesting insight. So your first transition or first change that you really made coming into the system in 2013 is to make sure that the work assigned to you was to make the ledger, and you actually moved the ledger to an Excel and to a ERP.
Yes.
And then you're saying that your uncle actually practiced it to an extent that now he became much more proficient and
Yes.
excellent. Okay. Wow. Okay. What else can you tell us from your journey, that the changes that you made, or what happened?
Even before, I think 2013, I did my schooling here. Until 2007, I was here. Then from 2007 to 13, I was back home, for my 11th, 12th, and bachelor's. So even that 5 years, that's where I got it some inside of the hometown, I would say.
Okay.
And where we also have a manufacturing facility there. So even from my schools in UAE to my bachelor's in India, all this while, I was closely not doing anything in business, but I was watching certain things happening in the business. And I would say it was, as many people say, they was very passionate about business. For me, I was never passionate about business in the earlier days.
Okay.
I wanted to be a pilot, something like that.
You want to do a pilot?
Yeah.
Okay.
But eventually, when I saw my sister's physics book, I stepped out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so a pilot who became a CEO. In a way, it's the same, correct? You still have the control of the company, not the plane. Okay.
So I would say, even before I joined formally 2013 in the business, my dad was, I don't know, was it intentional of him of making me get the practices there? Because I go to my Indian factory during the vacations in India, right? So me, my cousins, everybody of us will be there. We go to pack all the namkeens, make the gingerly balls, right?
Okay.
So we have something called peanut and gingerly ball.
Yes.
So we used to have this, we have to make that balls.
Okay.
So we used to go there, we used to pack it. And I had also done loading the containers also. So even if I look back now, it was a lot of learning which I've got, because now when I take certain decisions which has to happen on the ground, I can relate what is happening on the ground now. So I didn't know, was it intentional of him, or was it it just happened?
Yeah. No, this is very interesting. This is the way you bring it out. So I would give you an analogy over here. Maybe you think about it like this. If you want to become a great pilot, correct, you need to have a certain number of flying hours, correct,
Yes.
before you qualify to be a pilot. I think probably your father was doing the same thing. Sometimes maybe we actually think about it, but a lot of time it comes out of experience, Probably he would have looked at his own journey and thought about it. How did he learn the business? And I think one of the very important points that you're stressing is the learning by doing things.
Yes.
So maybe that is what is there in the DNA of the companies. And I'll ask you this question on the values also, but this is how the values of the companies build. Learning by doing. So your father actually did it himself, frying the murku and then going and selling it in the market, and then he made you go through the same process. And this is one important component that I'm seeing across. So a young CEO comes in, so not by position you become a CEO, correct? It's not just a title. It's a responsibility. It's a lot of work that needs to be done. So I'm seeing that as a very strong value in the company that is there, learning by doing. Another point that's coming out of the conversation over here is that consistency is extremely important. And the third I possibly see over here in our conversation is your respect for the elder generation. I mean, you didn't walk into the business and say, look, what are you guys doing? This is a very old, outdated system. We are in 2013. You are still writing the ledger book by hand. But you actually started demonstrating to them that the power of the technology, not immediately, slowly and gradually. You made sure that the comfort level of your uncle is taken care of first by putting it on Excel sheet, giving him a printout. You did not force onto him, but actually you took care of him. And now he has more confidence on the system and he's doing it, correct? So it's the younger generation also doing this hand-holding. It's not only the elder ones doing the hand-holding, but also the younger one. So the whole value of learning by doing now is reversed.
Yes.
Where now you are doing it and you are trying to teach it to the elder generation of how to do it, correct? So this is important because that shows a lot of respect which is there for the people who have built the businesses in the way that they have. And so that brings me to another interesting point that I want to speak to you about is that you said that you're not looking for perfection.
No.
Correct? You want to give things a start and then you want to go ahead. But a lot of time what holds us back is perfection, correct? That, okay, we'll start when we are perfect. So why are you moving ahead when there's no perfection?
For me, to realistically speak, certain, at times even I have looked for perfection. I look for the perfect start. But I've just realized, but you look at the perfect start, you never start.
Okay.
So, every time you have that closure, right? Okay, let's wait. But what I've realized the hard times is, all the times I've looked for perfection, I've never started. And when you look back to your own mistakes, what has happened, what I say is like, results are like, there is something X factor, what I say for every time for results. What you can just think is, okay, I'll keep working today, tomorrow, and until you're alive. So this is something what you can keep doing, which is action is the only thing what you can guarantee.
Absolutely.
Result is, it's what you say, that's something external, I would say.
Absolutely.
So, so you look at perfection, you are looking at perfection, not at action. You are looking at perfection at results.
Absolutely.
So just keep doing. I think this is the only thing what, because lately, my wallpapers have been like vision without action is nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. Great ideas carry zero value, correct?
Yes.
Unless they execute it. No, that's true. Absolutely true. So another important point that I want to bring you up. Now you've spoken a lot about the SONAS snacking business and how it is being built over here. What do you see as the future? What is it that you have as a vision for the brand?
So I say most of our businesses have started for SONAS or to support SONAS.
Okay.
So when I say something about SONAS, something which is grown out of SONAS is also our wholesale business.
Okay.
So wholesale business started because when we make a murukku and all, we wanted the spices. So at times we were looking for spices, we were not getting the right quality of ingredients.
Okay.
So we started our flour mill, to make the rice flour, to make the turmeric.
Okay.
So we could see what in the market is like turmeric oil you get for 9 dirhams and the turmeric powder you get for 7 dirhams.
Okay.
This is how we started our flour mill.
Okay.
So we started selling to the flour mill. The flour mill to our Sona roastery. So we got excess of the produce, the spices and rice flour.
Okay.
That's where my cousin, my father's sister's son joined the business, Mr. Shakir.
Okay.
So he joined the business and my dad said, okay, we have excess of produce for rice flour and spices. So he started selling it. He started selling it to the small restaurants and all.
Okay.
So, people were complaining the rates were high. So my dad said, no, rates would remain same. The quality is going to be the same thing.
Okay.
So I think that's where it all started. The wholesale division started from that point.
Okay.
As we started supplying rice and spices, customer asked for water, Pepsi, all these items.
Why would somebody ask you for water and Pepsi when you're supplying spices?
what happened is they were facing problems like getting, earlier it was a very formal distribution channel, right?
Okay.
Only the companies directly supply.
Okay.
So as in a wholesale business, we are an aggregator between the primary distributor and the users.
Wow. Okay.
So the wholesale business, what we primarily do is we are a one-stop shop for like we supply from spice, flour, food, non-food, frozen, all these items.
Okay.
So they don't have to depend on multiple vendors for all these products.
Okay.
And we are available locally.
So it's more like a sort of a fulfillment center for all the small businesses
Yes.
which are there, be it restaurants, cafeterias, groceries.
Yes.
Okay.
So now it all had started for SONAS, but now it is standing for itself now. So the vision for SONAS is also there. Now the vision for Wholesale Point is also getting bigger for me.
Wow. Okay.
Again, I think the realization trigger was COVID, I would say.
Okay.
Even for the snacking business and for the wholesale division.
Why is that?
Because, we were doing nuts, we were doing snacks, and the wholesale division was a lot of necessities, right? We were supplying spices, rice, all these necessities was being sold. So during COVID, where all the nuts, people doesn't have to rely on nuts every day. So we started seeing, personally, I started seeing that change in the wholesale division. It was being a cash cow for the entire group then. So that's when, the realization started kicking in me. From 2013 to 2020, I was being nuts around nuts.
Okay. Okay.
So I was selling nuts. I was, even if you ask me the product-wise, I'm very confident in that category because I started there from pricing to everything. I was very focused at that point. But from 2013, it was like it gave me a refresh, I would say.
Okay.
On the product branding and the business-wise in 2020, because we could see a lot of potential that was in the wholesale business.
Okay.
So, like during that time, we sold masks, we sold sanitizers.
Okay.
So, because that was, it was a daily necessity for everyone, right?
Yes.
Because, so we were fulfilling the requirement for all the sectors there.
Okay. This is interesting because the way you are talking about right now over here is that while COVID was a tough time for everybody, but you basically, within the business, you saw the opportunity.
Yes.
And for you, that opportunity came up during the time of crisis.
Yes.
That's a very interesting take that we have over here that, how do you actually look at opportunities? And then when you spoke about saying, how did your snacking business of making the murukku led your father to create the flour mill? And that flour mill led to the creation of the spices business. And then the wholesale business. So it's like one thing feeding into the other and building something bigger and bigger and bigger. And now they're like a group of companies and there are multiple verticals and each having its own vision and everything. But all tying back to that humble murukku, correct?
Yes.
That basic 5 ingredients and everything over there. And again, I see one more DNA being reinforced once more is the consistent quality. Because to make the murukku consistent, you need to have the consistent spices. And if the spices are consistent and you offer them to the market, that means consistency is the key, correct? So across the board, the consistency in the quality is something that is very much. And it's surprising that you call the business SONAS.
Yes.
Correct? Because Sona actually, which is gold, stands for consistency, correct? I mean, that's the purity of the gold which defines the value of the gold. So this is absolutely very interesting insight that we have over there. Okay. I think this is a great learning that we have. Roastery, typically in this part of the world, when we say roastery, what comes to our mind is nuts and coffee and some spices. So how is Sona's roastery different from any of those?
So I don't know. These days, roastery is being put to a very small name, I would say, because every corner shops you can see a roastery.
Okay.
So when we started, for us, Sona Roastery is what we say as our head office, or where all the business what being seen here and in India is originated from this roastery, which else formally started in 1992.
Okay.
So everything resorts to, or everything was started initially for that. But myself or what Dad has also put us, all the business start for SONAS shouldn't be limited for SONAS.
Okay.
Even all the business, even CKM started as a procurement hub for SONAS.
Oh, so now we have another story of how another company started for the SONAS.
all the businesses what we look currently under the group was started initially for SONAS, but it was not limited only for SONAS. Even when I say the flour mill, right, that is still happening.
Wow.
Even the same process even continues. Even our manufacturing in UAE, there's a supporting flour mill. Even India, for our manufacturing, we have an in-house mill. So, what all we started traditionally still remains the same to ensure the quality also.
Okay.
So, and every business that started, even CKM started as a procurement because we were, as I said, like 2013 until 2017, I was fully involved in the operation of SONAS in the commodity side, selling to all the key players in the market. So 2017, I started getting that interest in business. I said, no, I wanted a procurement, which in UAE, the commodity hub for the dry fruits is Al Ras. So I was saying that, okay, now we wanted a place to consolidate our buying. So that's where in 2017, we started CKM.
Okay.
CKM, which was a procurement hub for the nuts and other commodities. So we started in 2017, but it was not limited to that.
Okay.
So now it is a business of its own. It's a group of its own.
Wow.
Which started as an entity, now itself is a group, I would say.
Okay.
So in SONAS, I'm an inherited person, but in CKM, I'm the founder, I would say.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So I don't know. There's so many questions rushing into my mind right now, Mubeer. So one of the things that probably is like a realization is that one small step in that Ajman, a small hut, when your father was frying that Morocco, he would have never thought about this humble Morocco would create this big of a business all around it, correct? And everything to just feed into that Morocco and just kept growing and growing and growing. So that the Morocco is a very great product to look at. That's one thing. The second is that the way the whole journey of you from a family member who assumed the responsibility of a CEO after actually learning the tricks of the trade by doing it, learning the methods of it, working with the family members, and then of course being the founder of a new company. And now I understand you are the MIF Capital. Intention is to support more businesses in their journey. And so what I remember is you talking about this whole thing of saying that you just don't want it to be like a typical capital kind of a thing that I'll give you the money and we'll back off.
No.
You want it to be much bigger than that.
Yes.
So what's your vision on that?
MIF Capital started with a very small idea, but it validated, okay, this has to happen, but it also validated it shouldn't happen this way also.
Okay.
So as now the realization is big. Out of the realization, it's not only you start business, how do you make it sustainable?
Okay.
Or, when you say sustainable, it's not only the environment wise, but what I've been learning in the business is how do you have a lean growth?
Okay.
That's where you can sustain. So all the business, all the resources are limited, right? Be it money, be it people, everything.
Correct.
So again, finances are limited. So how do you have that sustainable growth in every business?
Correct.
So to make it sustainable, you have to have efficiency in your operations. So to have efficiency, you need systems.
Okay.
So how do you have systems even for traditional business? How do you have modern systems? Because in this point of time, like AI is taking off everything.
Correct.
So possibly we are also embracing AI now for certain repetitive tasks. That's how ready are you to embrace changes? So bringing out of that efficiency gives you like the fuel to have that lean growth also.
Correct. So the question is, Mubeer, today when you walk into and you look at any business, what are you looking at? You're looking at somebody who's like a new startup, a young founder setting up the company, and you want to go in with saying, guys, we're coming in not with the capital, not only with the capital, but actually with the intention to see how you can have a lean growth, how can you run your system more efficiently. And so is that what you're looking at, or you're also potentially looking at saying traditional businesses who are now passing on to the next generation, and how can you help them in this transition to make sure that those businesses are protected and they're taken care of?
I said I'm very passionate when it comes to business, even not initial days, but lately after being in the game for all this 13 years, as I take time to meet people or find people also.
Okay.
When I see, okay, they're in the family business, at times I get to learn from them, or at times I try to recept at least, what has happened lately is I happen to have friends of my dad's age. I also have friends having my age, and I have also friends younger to my age also.
Okay.
So possibly I'm able to reflect a lot, possibly what my dad is also expecting when I have people of my dad's age.
Okay.
So that gap, right? What is the gap that is being there, either in the family business or traditional business? Or I happen to meet many people. I don't know. I don't go after the value. Okay, I have to be there. I have to have a stake of 50%, 10%. No, nothing. So possibly all the magic that has happened to me is out of like that collaboration or out of that openness to have accept or meet people. Out of that, I've got enormous opportunities, I would say.
Okay.
I've got, out of many people who I have around me as friends or well-wishers or, anything that happens, possibly one of the people being you, I share all my small achievements. Okay, I've got this listing.
Yes.
So there's a small circle of people whom I share. Okay, I've been visible recently, like in AdNoc when we got listed. So, all this people have come to me out of not a very formal thing.
Correct.
It started as a very small customer or just a person coming to me.
Correct.
Later now, we spend times or I take time every day or a very alternative day to take a lesson, or they call me, okay, what do I do there? So, this openness has given me a lot of opportunities to explore, I would say. So when you really look at money or when you look at, okay, a partnership in the company, I don't think it has put me that way.
Okay. This is interesting because the way I'm seeing it over here, you've spoken about saying, how do you connect to an elder generation and somebody your age and even younger, correct? And that gives you the point of view of all three of them, all the three generations, and you are sort of trying to understand the perspective from all the angles. That's extremely important. And these help you build relations with them, and you tend to learn from every generation, correct? The younger one and the elder ones, and try to bring them together. And that's probably one of the core strengths that has been built into you, and that's what you're now trying to sort of use as in the MIF Capital as a strength to help the traditional businesses and the new founders both, so that we can have successful businesses. And your story around the SONAS itself is a very beautiful thread, which narrates. It's like a web, correct? You build one thing and you build one thing and you keep building around it, correct?
Yes.
And it grows into a huge, beautiful business that we have today. I have a question on the nuts. I remember you telling me once that you came to the business and you asked somebody about cashews, I think, correct? And
Yes.
they said you wanted to understand the specification. So can you share that story? A very interesting bit.
No, because I said when it was not an official assignment, right? When I came to business, like I think it was September 2013. I stepped in after my bachelor's. I came here. The first day I was I came to the factory, and for me everything was new. I've just seen everything out of the business, right? So you have that inner thing, okay, Mubeer, now it's not the other way. You coming to the factory, just taking a handful of cashews and having it. So it used to be that way. During my school days, you come to the factory, take a handful, put in pocket, then you keep snacking and going around. So when I came initially, I could see like cashew 320, cashew 240, and different grades of almonds, pistachios, and all. So I was very curious to ask, like, what is 240? What is 320? So then they said, one is big, one is small.
Okay.
So that probably the inner child in me, or I don't know, the curiousness in me wanted to know what was that classification of products.
Okay.
So I was fortunate to have I was with the education and all. Or, at that time we had the access to internet. I started researching about the products. I started, okay, what is 320? Then I got that knowledge. So that's what I said. Like when you ask anything about nuts, because I started researching from product to product. And, all that has helped me, even now I would say. Anybody calls me, I know. The origin, the grade, the classification, that's been available. So first I started as, when I started, I got an answer, right? Cashew 320 and 240. Then I thought, for everything, now there is something like this. So then I started learning about almonds, pistachios, hazelnuts. So it was like, that learning has helped me a lot. Later, when my customers speak to me, certain customers have helped them even to have their product list also. Because once they shared something, and it was a lot of repetitiveness.
Okay.
I think because of that thing, I'm sure I've got multiple orders because I was able to help customers rather.
Wow.
What was that product? Or many people come to that place without knowing because somebody has given them something. This is the product you have to buy. But some people comes new, they don't know what is the classification, what is the grading.
Correct.
Because as I was able to learn that, I started imparting or I started informing them also.
Wow.
So I remember one of my customer first when I was speaking a lot. Then he said, "Mubeer, I'll share you the product list. Please help me," because he was new in that roastery division. So. I said, please share me that, and I'm happy to see that product list now.
Correct.
Because I was able to help him, or he was new in that position. I helped him that way. He also was able to learn things faster.
Okay. So, you start to talk a lot about saying curiosity and how it helped you in terms of things, but a very important point that you touched the base was that once you learn the specification of the products, it's like learning your business, knowing your business, correct? Not just saying, this is how it is done. You actually crack the code of how it is done, the specification. To the extent that even your customers did not know that much of detail, correct?
Yes.
And you stepped up to help them out. Now, helping your customer, is this also a value system that you have in SONAS as a group, CKM, SONAS?
100%. Because, we have something in our ERP we have done. We have something called minimum price and maximum price.
Okay.
Because when we started in the commodity business, the prices of commodity goes ups and down, and we have customers who trust us really, right? So suppose to just give you an instance, like the pepper, which was 42 dirhams, have gone to 7 dirhams at one point. Or likewise in many commodities, just to give you an instance on that. Or, certain our customers in remote areas doesn't get to know, what is the thing of the market. So when we didn't have it, once I was able to see one of the invoices, it was not reduced. My team, they thought, we are getting profit. No, I said this shouldn't be done.
Wow.
So even yesterday I had a discussion on it. We have something called minimum price, maximum price. I said, this is out of your calculation, you have your minimum price.
Correct.
Because what I feel is when I say sustainable, right, everything resorts to it.
Correct.
It's not, you're not here to do one-time business. So this is something which you cannot win for one time, because you start helping your customers. That's where you can, they also help you in the long run. So this is what I've experienced, because there's just one instance which I think I was able to just point out.
No, this is really good, because what you say, you cannot win one time. You have to keep, it's like a win-win relationship,
Yes.
correct? It's like a partnership, and you have this long-term opportunity. So with all of this, and I'm sure that if we keep talking, we can go on for hours talking about this thing, because honestly, I'm learning so much now with you talking about these things, and I'm sure that anybody listening to this would actually learn a lot, because there's so many great lessons out there in this whole thing. A question is that going forward, so you are a person who came into the business, took it from the generation before you, start to build it, modernize it. In your journey today, how are you modernizing the business now? Going forward, what is it that you're working on?
I think, again, I'll have to get back to the making of the CEO, where I think we sat, right? When we sat, many things, I was doing many things, but possibly I was going wider. So I think now I started narrowing down. I started going deeper.
Okay.
So everything, when I say curiosity, passion, anything, it's you have to get in deeper to your business. There will be a point where you have people coming in. So I'm also just getting prepped for it.
Okay.
So I think after we sat, Now I started going deeper. Like I have a plan where what is the day I put for every business.
Okay.
So, and have my team who looks after the execution also.
Wow.
So the team at MIF helps me in the execution, and I am there and the strategy or every meetings we have.
So when I spoke to you about how are you modernizing your business, correct? What you said was that it basically starts with you as a leader, as a CEO. You can't modernize the business if you yourself are not willing to change, correct, as a CEO. So your change as a CEO in what we call the making of a CEO is that first you start to look at what are the big ideas that you should be working on, correct? So that's the one thing that you start to work on. The second is that once you identified those big ideas, you start to build a team of professionals. And I have a follow-up question on that one also. You start to build a team of professionals now who are participating with you. And then you created a sort of a time allocation system where it's like, okay, each one of them, you have a time where you sit down with the team and discuss on the ideas, how they are progressing on the execution side of it. And before the execution, you actually have plugged in a strategy part. So now you have an idea, you have a strategy, you have a team working on it, and you have a follow-up mechanism to work on that part. And all of that started because you started with the realization that first thing is you need to fix your own approach as a CEO and get more organized in your effort. So that's the big takeaway I have. But when you bring in professionals into a family business, which has got family members from different generations, and sometimes that line gets blurred, between, yes, I'm a family member and I've been participating into everything and I have my say into everything. And then when you bring professionals on board, they're very, very clear, defined responsibilities aligned. So how does that transition happen from family kind of a thing to a family professional kind of a?
So, out of what all I've been doing, even lately I've been, I don't know if it's right, but what I say is the communication is the ultimate thing. When you wanted to have a change, when you are implementing harder systems, have lighter communications.
Okay.
Because you have to make the people adapt to it, right? Because possibly you come with a lot of SOPs, probably all the jargons which you have in the business. What I think is when you have harder systems, have very lighter communications with the team.
Okay.
Or possibly it's a family, or possibly they are the senior people. They've been working for longer years there. But how do you communicate with them?
Okay.
So that's what I said. Like certain people, you start them showing the changes, they embrace it. So you will have to start showing them, because I remember even in a wholesale business, from a very cash and carry thing, we started implementing PDTs. For me, all these small things were achievements for us. So all our team has a PDT now.
Okay.
So, they feel, okay, we are working in a different thing, or all the people there. So I think we have to let them know what is the reason we are doing it. Or possibly when we started having the racking systems, the PDTs, people started asking, okay, why was this? Because the business was also already happening.
Correct.
But if you look at now, the scale we are doing now, even they are admitting it, okay, with that systems, we won't be able to scale.
Correct.
Or possibly what is the scale we wanted to achieve in what we've targeted, we will wanted to have more better systems coming up.
Correct.
Because now they got to understand, because with the older systems, they commit, okay, we will deliver some stock. At some point they were not able to do it. The customer happiness was a toss. Now they're able to, they have got that confidence.
Correct.
Even the people at sales, because now earlier sales, everything was very closely they were watching.
Correct.
Now the sales team is sitting at one location. The fulfillment is happening on a different location. We've got a back office team in India.
Okay.
So now everybody started seeing the change.
Correct.
People started having the flexibility, because certain are senior staff, possibly who wanted more to be in their hometown. Now we have also be giving them that flexibility. Now they can work remotely from home. So we have a bigger dream for, it's not within the office. How do we create the mobility even for the team also? So even lastly, I was just traveling. So we are just trying to establish all this now.
So if I look into what you have said right now, Mubeer, what you're saying is that, of course, you started off with saying that the change starts with the CEO, the leader first, right? The leadership team. But then you spoke about saying, okay, this is beautiful line that you said over there, which is saying that the harder the systems, the lighter the communication, correct? And it's like embracing the three generations together of taking them along with you. And the change is not only in technology, change is also in the approach of the people. It's a change management thing that we're talking about over here. So I have this, many companies, people talk about saying, let's upgrade the technology. But then the people who are there, they're still not upgraded, correct? So there's a huge gap over there that you find. So the technology upgradation alone will not solve the problem till the time you've got people who embrace it. And for people to embrace it, they need to start seeing the results of how things are. Maybe somewhere in 2013, the foundation or the roots of this was already being laid down when you were teaching your uncle how to use an Excel sheet from a ledger, correct?
Yes.
And that lesson is what you're now growing and making it bigger right now. So now what essentially you're telling me is that if you want to professionalize the company, and those professionals have to build a system for you, and the systems have to work.
Yes.
It's not only about having very hardcore language kind of a thing, but actually translating it through software communication, embracing the change, taking everybody along with you. And you also have spoken at one point of time about gratitude, correct?
Yes.
That people who helped you in business, and I remember you telling me about your father. And I would love for you to tell us the name of your father and how, his lessons to you on gratitude.
My father's name is Seidalvi. So gratitude, like I was like, at that point you don't get that realization, because once I was in a very casual event, one of the weddings. So I happened to, he called me, like I was somewhere, he called me and said, okay, he showed me a person who has helped in the earlier days, I would say. And I think out of that crowd, he was just speaking a lot of this person who was there. So then I thought, okay, I think for that person, it was a big recognition, possibly what I felt. I think out of that understanding, I happened to communicate what has happened there. And possibly this was one of the incidents. And many people who had helped him throughout his journey, I've seen him mentioning them throughout multiple conversations which I have had. And many people who were working with us, possibly they have left like their health, or after working for us for many years, still they are on our, I don't say on a payroll, nothing, still they are on our list.
Correct. The relationship continues, correct?
Relationship, and what all we can help them in any ways, we are for them now. Like it's like I don't say for everyone or no, but possibly for the people who has been there, and possibly some people who doesn't have next dependencies helping them, or the source of income for the family, right? So I think these are the values that Dad has possibly communicated. Or he's not a very active person currently in the business, but certain people he calls, okay, what is happening with them? This person is going. So possibly I think this is certain things which is unintentionally giving me insights also.
Absolutely. No, this is really important. So we are potentially looking at bringing that generation perspective also to the audience. And so Mr. Syed Alvi, the chairman of the group now, we would definitely like one day to sit down with him and talk to him, because they can give us a very complete different perspective of everything that we are talking about. So this will be really interesting to catch up with. I think
while we were on this discussion, for me also it was recollecting a lot of things. So I don't know. I think I'll have to ask my dad. Was he intentional of letting me know all what has happened or what all I communicated, or it was like something happened very. But at times he used to say, Mubeer, all this certain things was I had planned it. I don't know.
This is absolutely cool. Thanks a lot, brother, for being here.
Yes.
Really enjoyed talking to you, and definitely looking forward to having you again back with us.
Thank you.
So glad that we could make it. Thanks, sir. Thanks, brother.